Dear audience, today we welcome Guido Schneider, the Vice President, Sales Aftermarket Europe from Clarios, or also better known within our market from Varta. Heartily welcome from my side. Hope you have had a very good journey to come here to Dortmund.
Absolutely. Thanks, Marcus. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was a good journey here.
Perfect. Okay. So we have prepared some questions, and from my point of view, and hopefully you agree with these kind of questions, very interesting ones, and especially also for our audience if we talk about garages. So if you're ready, let's start.
Let's start.
Okay, fine. Yeah, Guido, due to the fact that we have a lot of very interesting questions here today, I would like to start already with the first one.
Okay.
How do you see the trend towards electrical vehicles?
Yeah, Marcus, I think we can agree that electrification is a trend that has started, will continue to pick up speed and accelerate. Major studies indicate that by 2030, so already in 8 years, more than half the cars will be electric, meaning hybrid or battery electric vehicles in the new registrations, and then 5 years later already by over 90%. Yeah, so trend is there, trend will continue, and it's here to stay. And it's clear, right, with the EU regulations, other regions of the world, other regulations, trend towards CO2 emissions reductions, more sustainability. That's the main driver here.
Okay, especially you, as from your company, you have a dedicated idea if we talk about batteries and all these things, electricity. But maybe I can raise the question: what do you think within your company about technologies which are different to e-mobility, like, let me say, e-fuels or hybrid? No, not hybrid versions. It's the same. I'd like to say hydrogen topics. Is that something which you take also into account, or do you think that the current legislation is strict and will not be changed within the years to come?
Yeah, that's a tough question, right? Because it depends on so many variables, including technical improvements and innovation, right? That's hard to see if it will become affordable, right, from an economic perspective, right, and sustainable and working well as well. And then also how the governments will position themselves in the EU and globally, if they are staying focused on one solution like they are today, right, or if they will be more open-minded and, for example, allow e-fuels as well. And I know for Global One, that's a big topic, right? You became a part of that as well.
Yeah, it's not only for Global One. We have joined this initiative, as you know, due to the fact that we are convinced that we have to stay open within technologies. And if you have a solution which is visible, you should work on this. And to concentrate just to one solution is most probably not always the good solution for the future. But however, we will see what the future will bring. But how will automotive electrification affect the aftermarket from your point of view?
Yeah, it's certainly a big change happening now in the car industry itself. But it will also impact the aftermarket. Most people would say that there's less parts, especially in the wear and tear. There's new parts coming in that need to be maintained. I would take a little bit of broader view. I would say beyond the parts exchange, right? There is more things happening. If you think about autonomous driving, all the sensors that need to be there, that need to be calibrated. Think about the software. My car, I have an electric car, is equipped with all sorts of entertainment topics that might need some service as well. So that's some upside as well. And then for sure, if you look at the impact on wholesalers and the independent garages, it will take some time. So even though by 2030, more than half the new registrations will be electric, until this hits the car park, this takes long, right? So the current estimate is that about 11% of the car park only are hybrid or electric by 2030. That means 9 out of 10 cars are still traditional combustion engines. So I think the aftermarket will, for a long time, 20, 30 years, have regular business like it has before, with a increasing part of electric vehicles, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that it's a very important answer from Guido, and especially towards our garages. So we know that some of those guys have fear, or even some new entrepreneurs would like to open a new garage, are rethinking their position. But you have really to take into account that these kind of developments are future developments, and nobody knows today if we going to have these 100% solution still in 5 or 10 years to come. And therefore, also from my point of view, my retirement is safe, no doubt about that. And I think also we have to motivate the younger people and to invest their time also in the independent aftermarket. It's more than worth to do. So what do you think to that?
Yeah, exactly. Because it will take a long time for normal combustion engine cars to be phased out. Yeah. But even still, like I said before, there's a future even with electric cars also for the independent aftermarket.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, why do electric vehicles also have a 12-volt lead-acid battery on board? Aren't they powered by a high-voltage lithium-ion battery?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Yeah, exactly. Right. So we just talked about how long it will take, right, for normal cars to phase out, right? At the same time, with electric vehicles and with hybrids for sure, they all still have a 12-volt battery, both. Most people are not expecting this for electric vehicles because I think there's only one battery in there, a high-voltage lithium battery, and that's there, right? That is a big battery, drives the car, right? Drives the propulsion system forward. But the 12-volt battery is needed for multiple reasons. One, the regular 12-volt board net is still there, so the entertainment system, the digital equipment that you can see, comfort functions. But then secondly, it's a critical safety feature as well. So if the high-voltage battery would fail, the car still needs power steering, braking, needs some emergency lights. You need to get over to the side of the highway, right, and be stopped safely. And then thirdly, when you park your car, for example, overnight, the high-voltage battery shuts off, and an over-the-air update is needed, for example, and there is a big drain on the second battery, on the auxiliary battery, and that's a 12-volt battery. In the vast majority of cases, that's a regular lead-acid battery, like the last 100 years, and we think that we'll continue to stay like this.
Very important information. I never thought about these topics which you have explained right here. Very interesting. Thank you for that, Guido. But why use lead-acid technology? Isn't lithium-ion superior within this perspective?
Yeah, most people would consider lithium-ion the successor of lead-acid. In this case, if you look at it, lead-acid has the advantage of being a very known, very robust technology in terms of safety features, in terms of expectations that it works in hot and cold climate. So that's a big plus. And then the affordability. For the same energy usage, it is still a lot cheaper than a lithium battery. Thirdly, you could look at the sustainability as well, right? Lead-acid has been around for so many years. So there's a proven recycling system.
Very important.
Very important these days as well, right? And it's known how to do it, right? There's a clear closed loop system. All the lead-acid batteries in Europe go back into the recycling loop. 90% of the material in a lead-acid battery can be recycled. So from that perspective, it's also very sustainable.
And what do you think about the new technology if we talk about recycling and sustainability? I think most of our audience thinking about the topic, what's about the e-mobility? What's about the batteries fitted into these kind of cars? And if we talk about the recycling, is there already a solution existing, or we have still to work on this topic within our market?
For sure, that needs to be worked on because it's just not the right thing to do to have these lithium batteries end up at a landfill. There will be multiple uses for sure, right? First, there will be a reuse. Maybe first a repair, then also a reuse before you come to the recycling. Recycling will be tricky for lithium batteries, but I know there's many companies heavily investing, and there will be some type of recycling loop over time as well.
Okay. What does the VATA 12-volt portfolio have to offer in this regard?
Yeah, we heavily invested into the right technology of 12-volt batteries also for electric cars, meaning hybrid and battery electric vehicles. The product line is called Varta AGM XEV, XEV AGM, X meaning all types of EVs. Since we are closely collaborating with the major car manufacturers, the OEMs, it fits perfectly to the OE requirements. So we have a dedicated product line for EVs.
Okay, yeah, quite interesting. So we are at least connected to each car manufacturer, and this next question then is obvious. Which car manufacturer are entering in the electrical vehicle market? Do you think every single one, or there are some of them will say, okay, it's nothing for me?
Yeah, from what we can see, every single one is investing into hybrid and battery electric vehicles. And we have, like I said before, we have a good collaboration. We have, if you look at European production, probably 2 out of 3, or almost 2 out of 3 cars that are being produced in Europe have a Clarios battery inside. So we are, and that's virtually every car maker is a customer of us. So with our batteries that we then in the aftermarket brand as Varta batteries, you can be sure that they fulfill the OE requirements and are fit for purpose.
No doubt about that. Yeah. So I think you are the most known company if we talk about battery solution. The brand Varta is known not even in Germany, so it means worldwide, and it's the brand for batteries at least. Yeah.
Thanks, Marcus.
How can workshops prepare for servicing electric vehicles? I think that is one of the major questions. And this is also linked to, I would not like to say fear that some of them are faced to, but I think we need to have your experience, what they can do if we talk about the servicing.
Yeah, my recommendation would be to start looking into it, to not wait until we get there in, let's say, 5 to 10 years when the numbers are bigger, right? But be ready, investing in the right staff, in the right trainings as well, and into the right digital portals as well, together with industry players like us, right, or with their wholesalers, to learn and be ready for this wave that will be coming in some time. And we are active. We are quite supportive with our Varta Partner Portal, which is one-stop platform for different needs to workshops, questions about installing the batteries, but also fundamental e-learnings as well.
Okay. So that means that you have plenty of trainings available for our independent workshops, which is for me a main topic. And I think it's also important to motivate those guys over there, also to invest the time to accept these kind of trainings, really to take them. And you have a very dedicated staff outside turning around and offer these training through our distributor channels, right?
Yeah, exactly. We have staff in multiple, of the bigger European countries. We do face-to-face trainings together with our wholesalers, traveling to the workshops or being at the wholesaler branch. And then in addition, we have the online portal, Varta branded, that is, a one-stop shop for all the different types of support you need. And that's pretty important.
How do you see the rate between online or offline trainings? Is there, how to say, much more the need that those guys really are online, or do they have the need to go to the garages and make the trainings through official meetings during an evening? What is the value, or what is the disadvantage or advantage from these kind of topics?
Yeah, I think from what we can see and from the statistics, they're asking for both. A live training, face-to-face with interaction, that's the gold standard. That's the best. On the other hand, not everybody has time for actually traveling to one of those trainings. Some people prefer to do after work at home, to do a 20-minute e-learning. Some people just learn better that way. And then the other component where we see a lot of demand, a lot of questions, is really for a dedicated portal that has the relevant repair and maintenance information specifically for the car that is being repaired right now. Yeah. So what's happening with batteries? You already have this today with start-stop cars. Even more so with electric cars, is the battery is not always where it used to be, under the hood. Yeah.
Clear.
So you need, in that case, for many vehicles now, you need our portal that will identify, is the battery under the hood, under the driver's seat, passenger seat, somewhere in the back. So to identify where is the battery. Second, what's the right replacement battery? Third, what is, how can I test the battery, interpret the results? And then the last one is maybe the most complex. That's the installation information to fit the battery. That is not as trivial as it used to be, where the battery exchange was less than 10 minutes.
I see.
Now it takes 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and there's a certain digital program to train the car to accept the new battery. And that needs more information, and we're offering this in our Water Partner portal.
Okay, thank you. Due to the fact that you are a well-known expert within our market since a lot of years, maybe I can ask you the question, if we talk about digitalization, telematics, our project Repdate, what is your statement if we talk about this industry solution? If we talk about Repdate, the onboarding, or the booking platform, do you have an idea? Can you share your ideas about this Repdate topic with us? Yeah.
So I think from my perspective, customers in the end will go to where the customer experience, let's say, is the best or the easiest. Yeah. Certainly, price comes into play, quality comes into play, trust comes into play, many other things as well. Yeah. But to a large degree, customer experience will drive customer decisions. And as such, let's say in the independent aftermarket, what we perceive is that these digital platforms will be needed, like Repdate, to have an easier customer experience. If you look at the younger generation, they don't always just want to call someone like the previous generation, or just drive there in the hope that there is a slot available, but they like to do it with their mobile phone. And then also not only to make the appointment, but also have the communication via a digital channel. So we believe it's a good initiative, we're hoping it works well.
Yeah, we too. So maybe I think it's time now to ask you for a final statement. There's such a wide field if we talk about the batteries, and normally, if we are in a private mood, and I'm talking to my nearest, and I talk about batteries, they're always thinking about the small ones that are using for the charger, whatever. But it's such an important and interesting topic for our market, for the independent aftermarket. What is your final statement to our discussion today?
Okay. Yeah, certainly the aftermarket will be very dynamic in the future, volatile. There will be big trends that we talked about that will change the customer experience, will change also the job of the mechanic, because also the car technology is changing. Yeah? And while I believe that the electrification, even though it's happening, right, it will take long until it fully hits the aftermarket. I really recommend to all wholesalers and independent garages to be thinking ahead, right? To be ready to get the right staff, invest in the right training. Yeah. And as always, Clarios, with our Water brand and our support systems that we have, our services, our platforms and trainings, we're there to support. We're there to support already now in this wave of more start-stop cars entering the workshops where it gets more tricky. And we're also the right partner on the electric vehicle side as well, with our 12-volt batteries there as well, and the right support going forward.
Okay, thank you. The audience, I have a nice learning out of the discussion with Guido here today. We have to be open to accept the trainings, to invest the time, and we have to think for the future. We have to prepare the future, not the future in 1 or 2 years to come. I think we have to prepare the future for the next 5 or 10 years to come. That's the important outcome of this very nice discussion with you today. And I'm so happy that you have been here. Hope you enjoyed also. And I'm more than sure that our audience have enjoyed it very much. And maybe you will come a second time next year. We will see.
Would be appreciated. Thank you so much. Thanks again for having me, Marcus.
Thank you, Guido. Ciao.
Thanks. Bye-bye.